Hello and welcome to another episode of Talk Cow Not Bull.
Another little short chapter of the Talk Cow Not Bull YouTube. I have Jamie Hayes here beside me. You're a very proud, is it Limerick man or Kerry man, are you, Jamie? Is that where you're from?
Yeah, just between the two, yeah. Just the real capital of Ireland. Down in the real capital, yeah. Down in the rebel country.
Down the rebel country. Where are we now, Jamie?
We are in some part of Belgium, in between the north and Brussels somewhere.
Yeah.
Han Duisland. That's where we're, yeah.
And we just came from a very nice farm.
We did. Very, very nice farm.
Can you remember anything about what were the stats on the farm? How many cows?
Was it 250?
I think it was 350.
350.
Yeah.
350.
4 Lely robots.
4 Lely robots. 2, 3 A4s, 1 A5.
Okay. Bouncing there a bit now. Cobblestones.
A couple of 100,000 litre cows.
That's right. Amazing cows.
Amazing cows, yeah.
There was,
big cows.
There was that 17-month heifer, and she'd carry 4 of my Jersey crosses on her back, so she would.
Yeah, I think we need to do a birth cert check on her, yeah.
Lovely farm and really nice people and lovely layout, wasn't it?
Lovely layout. Very
Lovely
clean. Very, very clean. Nice gardens and everything around it.
But interesting, as a lot of farms we go on, the cows are amazing and everything. They had a few little challenges in calf rearing. They're having some viral pneumonia issues, and they actually were x-raying the lungs, and if they saw damage, they wouldn't treat just that one calf. They'd treat maybe the 5 calves in that pen.
Yeah, it was the one thing I've noticed from it. It was reactive over proactive, which was what struck me.
Yeah.
For such a big farm and such a nice farm and everything done so nice and tidy, the treatment was very reactive.
And come here, Jamie, I suppose I'll get into my usual questions there and talk on, but before we get into that, this trip to Belgium kind of came pretty quick. Look, we're aiming to solve problems, so we won't get into it too much, but I suppose anybody that is looking at this video, we're working on something new, and I have to give credit to yourself and John Joe in terms of pushing it, so it'll be something that'll fill in with your...
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
It's going to come, yeah. Something different, yeah.
Something different.
Something back to being a bit more proactive.
Correct.
Yes, a bit more proactive, yeah.
And what's your new line you've brought to JORAPAC?
Long life solutions for long life cows.
There you go.
That's what JORAPAC is all about.
So tell a little bit more about yourself there, so Jamie, and a bit about your role within Creva Group.
Yeah, so as part of Creva, we have a company called JORAPAC, which I suppose is mainly responsible for the Irish domestic market and a bit of the UK. A bit more hands-on on farm, dealing a bit of B2C with our preferred distributors and agents. I suppose we offer our own JORAPAC branded products, whether it be slatted rubber, co-mats, a bit of crop packaging, and I suppose we have the power of the Creva portfolio behind us then as well to offer a complete premium solution on farm, whether that be a newborn calf or a 10-year-old cow. We try to help. If we don't have the solution, we can recommend somewhere else. Or we're always looking to bring on something new and again proactive on farm to help out.
Yeah. And come here, you have a history in this. Where before JORAPAC, where were you? And
yeah,
and you're the general manager now of JORAPAC, so you're responsible for that brand. And I suppose for me in Creva, I look at JORAPAC. Well, Creva owns JORAPAC now. It's another brand and product portfolio that we're bringing out there, along with Agri-Plastics, Huber Technic, or Hatfield, or whatever, you know. But so before JORAPAC, where were you?
Before JORAPAC, I spent 3 years with a company called AHV.
Yes.
I suppose a company that had probably challenged the perception of animal health.
Yeah.
And how we go about treating
sick
animals. Did we get everything right? Probably not, but there's a lot of positivity out of it. I took a lot of learning from it.
Yeah.
In terms of coming at animal health from a proactive route, trying to avoid these issues on farm, whether it be an ammonia or a scouring calves, all the ways to cell count mastitis. I suppose for me personally, I learned a lot. There was quite a good few people there from vets, nutritionists, that have picked up a lot of information.
That was great experience. My God.
Yeah.
To be on farms, looking at cows, talking to people like that. Brilliant.
They listened to the stories, listened to each farmer, just listening what was happening and trying to come around these issues. I suppose that's where it has led me into working with Noel to see where we can combine infrastructure and animal welfare and comfort with a bit of health side of it.
Yeah. And the market is evolving, and we're hitting challenges all sides between labour, animal welfare, and then also reduction in antibiotics and trying to be proactive, Yeah. So I'm going to move into the few talk cow, not bull questions now. So, favourite tractor? Because you have a farm at home as well. You have a farm at home.
I have a farm at home.
You grew up on a farm.
My dad is a tractor man. I'm more a cow man, but my favourite tractor.
He's a contracting business.
My dad is a contractor. So even though it's all New Holland at home, I would have to say where I suppose when I graduated out of college, I spent a bit of time with a Fit dealership, and it was probably the worst thing I ever did because it's very hard to find anything.
Really, there's nothing like if I've never. I don't think I've ever driven a Fint. I might have driven a small old Fint one time on a farm. I worked in England.
If you're not planning on buying one, don't drive them because they are nice.
Really,
they are nice. Yeah, just operator friendliness and everything. Yeah, they are nice.
Really, we're always John Deere at home or maybe a Massey, but
yes.
Yeah. That's funny now too. Hannah's a Fint tractor as well, so it's right.
It's the Rolls Royce.
Favorite cow breed, or it could be a pet one or anything.
Favorite cow, I suppose I am a fan. At home, I suppose they had a suckler herd where we'd have had Shirley cross Simmental.
Okay.
I think that is a lovely. You bring the size with the Shirley, you have the milk from the Simmental and the temperament of the Simmental.
Yeah.
You have a lovely mother there. On the dairy side of it, I suppose I do. I like my Holstein, not the extreme Holstein, but so it's more like your Irish Holstein. In one sense, your high EBI.
No mixing any bit of Jersey in there, any of that now. Pure.
I like to stay pure. Yeah. No, I wouldn't say no. I've been on a couple of farms where it was a purebred Jersey herd.
Yeah.
And very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive animal as well. Yeah.
But if there's almost like an Irish Holstein now, Frisian, which is kind of more square, kind of grass-based, wouldn't have the big size like the cows we saw today.
There's a bit of power in them. They're able to produce and stand up for themselves,
And easy calving is so important, And then give us an old farm story, anything at all.
Farm story, Jesus,
Bringing in hay, bringing in silage. And did you ever work on any farm abroad?
Never did anything abroad. No, never did anything abroad. I suppose a lot of my summers were spent at home with Dad and the contracting.
Yeah.
So that's.
Did you ever have any funny stories going into the house for the dinner? Or was that allowed?
You would. You get a bit of that, or mix-ups. I suppose I was always on the raking.
You were putting up the silage?
No, raking in
the rows.
Yeah. And there has
That's where you put the unskilled people, isn't it? You didn't get the harvester of the pit, no?
No, I didn't get that far. You
didn't even get the mowing.
Which is actually good. It's more about for my father than anything. We learned, I suppose, after a couple of mistakes of I suppose directions weren't always the clearest, I'd say.
Right.
And as you know, there can be quite a couple of fields cut at the same time around Ireland.
Oh, yeah?
And after a couple of mix-ups and raking wrong fields and getting stuff wrong, we learned about dropping the pin on Google
WhatsApp
Maps.
Or Google Maps.
Google Maps and sending them forward. So there was a couple of them. We got there, a learning experience. But
so there was a few farmers that didn't expect to have their grass raked into heaps, and they turned in.
A couple of puzzled farmers, a couple of puzzled farmers. So I suppose that's it. I suppose we run the sucklers at home there to transfer into dairy. I suppose I like to say that I look after the beef side of it over on my grandparents' farm. So yeah, there's a bit of work there, but yeah, we often had. I suppose my father's a tractorman. I'm a cowman. He would have the biggest patience for cows.
You didn't get the hydraulic oil in the blood?
No. I rather the cow, yeah.
So come here. Why do you do this, Jamie? If anybody knows anything about Ireland now, there's plenty of places you can get work. You are in cow country. Actually, I didn't realise that now, that Cork actually has 480,000 cows now.
Yeah, somewhere between 450, 480. It's similar to what we looked up in Belgium. What was it in Belgium?
Yeah, similar. So in County Cork, there's the same amount of cows as all of Belgium. Yeah. So go on. Why are you in this industry? Why are you doing what you do?
I suppose I am doing what I do because I've a passion for it. I suppose I have a passion for bringing something different to the market. I could never see myself somewhere where I would just slot in and
standing behind the counter, or going around selling a bit of feed,
or bringing the same old thing all the time. I suppose I want to bring something different and work on an exciting project. I suppose.
Yeah,
that we have with Creva and JORAPAC in terms of building a company and changing the mindset and changing the concept and trying to redevelop it. So yeah, that's why I suppose I took it on. I could never see myself selling meal or working
doing the same thing, or selling thin tractors as much as you like them, and doing only that.
It's at the end of the day, they're all things, whereas I like to bring a bit of change. And I suppose when I bring a bit of change on the farm, it gets on very well and things go very well. It's very I suppose it's very satisfying. Yeah, it's very satisfying to see.
I think you were saying last night, geez, Noel, when I'm as old and as grey and as old as looking as you, I hope I'll have made some difference to the dairy industry. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
maybe not those words about it.
Yeah, but I'd like to be able to bring something that a farmer, I suppose, can say, geez, that made a difference. That made a difference there. And I suppose, I like talking to farmers, I like learning from them. I suppose since I've joined Creva and JORAPAC, I've seen a bit more around Europe and listening to your stories about North America, so I can bring all that back. And no, definitely.
That farm today, lovely people, opened up her farm and it was great. And I suppose it's just the way I'm wired anyhow, even though it's get translated. But you're so interested in the farm, but if you can give little bits of advice, whatever about making a sale, but if you can have walked away from there and have given a bit of advice,
add something, make yourself, I suppose, resourceful on farm. Just add something that
be of service first, create value. Yeah.
Like it mightn't always be JORAPAC or me that will have the solution or the answers, but I suppose help on farm, and I suppose that's another thing. Whether you're in Belgium or Ireland or over in Canada, a cow is a cow, a calf is a calf. It's the same animal.
Top cow.
Yeah, cool. So it's all, it's very relatable. Whereas I suppose when I'd have been younger maybe, and I suppose a bit more sheltered in terms of just dealing with in Ireland, you think that what they're doing over in even the UK isn't relevant here. Whereas everyone can learn something and pick up something.
Absolutely. Everything is relevant. Cow is a cow. But at the same time, I'm so happy we finished this trip. It was a quick trip now. But getting to stand on the farm,
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's nice to see it,
Come here, looking ahead now. I know you're looking ahead here. We've 12 minutes to the Ryanair airport, to the Ryanair flight. But if we were to chat again in 3 years, what are the few key things you'd love to have happened? If we're on this road in 3 years' time, that'll have happened in work and personal. That'll have been a great 3 years for you.
I suppose in terms of work, to be able to grow the JORAPAC brand.
Yeah.
And hopefully bring it out to Europe, especially I suppose our slatted rubber product.
And you have a few projects, things happening now in Europe.
I suppose all these trips.
The slat rubber is a great product.
Yeah, these trips, everything is all about creating those connections and getting out there. And if we were here in 3 years' time again, definitely to have a couple of sheds where there is slatted rubber products. Also a bit of our new range coming on board. Be able to grow that and listen to the stories again of how people, I suppose, instead of listening to stories how people are getting on with other companies, I'd love to listen to a story about someone who has invested in JORAPAC or Creva and listen to how we've changed their mindset for them or their farm.
just bring in good, proven solutions. And we have
Yeah.
something new, and we're taking some tough decisions too, Jamie. Like as much as we love urban, and a great fan of it, and we're glad we helped them in the kind of transition away from Volak. And I know you work closely with O'Donovan Engineering, but we took the decision in Creva and JORAPAC to, well, we were always looking to find a right distributor, and we did with O'Donovan, and we've stepped back from that because we don't feel we can add as much value to farmers and to urban doing it, but we're replacing that, and with something new, like, and that's one of the reasons why we're here. So
definitely, yeah. I suppose
and in 3 years' time, we'll know if it's working or not.
Exactly. I suppose we have a bit of a plan put together for it. So no, it'll be interesting. It'll come back to, I suppose, a bit of what I was used to before about challenging the mindset probably of animal health in general. So it'll be an interesting one. It'll be an interesting one, yeah.
And anything else on your own farm or anything like that? I know you've built a new house, and
I suppose on the personal side of things, definitely, sure. I suppose keep the house, I suppose, would be the best.
Are you swinging the hurl now at all? You play hurling? No hurling or football.
Finished up all that, yeah.
Tired. I think we should get a Creva JORAPAC hurling team together.
Jesus, I would want the shin guards. I suppose, on the farm, I'd like to keep that going, progress away, put as much time and effort.
You're talking about there yesterday, you're updating the slats and maybe the slat rubber or whatever.
Plan ahead, I suppose it's my grandparents' farm, and I suppose it's an old yard.
Yeah.
I suppose so far we've done a bit of work on the land and passageways, just making life easier. Whereas I suppose I'd like to see a bit of improvement in around the farmyard, so that, again, just makes life easier.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working, I suppose, that you're not, a lot of time isn't taken up on the farm, but you can get in, get your jobs done, everything is right, everything is safe.
Yeah.
And move on with peace of mind,
and
that everything's going to be okay. Yeah.
And for me, as a business owner and employing people, I actually think, my gosh, I think nearly most in our team now have a farm at home as well.
Yes.
And a lot of our team, I think that's important. It's great. For me, I know you're not going to feck off and go working in New Zealand on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're connected, you can talk cow, when you're standing on the farm.
You can talk as a farmer as well especially as you mentioned the point there today with that lady today, that it's farmer to farmer talk. It's not someone inside just trying to get a sale or talk about something you haven't actually practically done before.
Yeah.
Whereas, it makes a big difference. Yeah,
and honestly, in my 20 years of international travel and sales, and anytime you go out with dinner with customers or farmers or distributors, you're talking cow. You're not talking about selling. You're talking about what's happening in their country, what's happening abroad. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, technology, Jamie, for you in your working life and your business life, just what do you think has made life the easiest for you, or the best change you've seen, even in your few years in working life? Now you can go farmer job on that.
Yeah. I suppose in the job, ChatGPT has helped me massively in terms of organisation of work and just speeding the whole thing up and putting finishing touches and things.
Yeah. A bit of research
helping along that way.
Yeah.
If you're trying to brainstorm about something and you're just stuck on something, we have to put it in there and it opens your mind again to what else is happening. I suppose in terms of at home or on the personal life, in terms of technology, what can I say? I suppose.
Do you have any sort of smart technology on the tractors as the contractors, or any smart technology on the beef or the dairy? Because I know you at home. You and your sister and your dad have the dairy farm.
Yeah. I suppose on the tractor side of it, I suppose GPS technology has helped.
Oh yeah,
helps massively, especially
in terms of fertilizer spreading.
It has helped big time there. It has helped my father, I suppose, pick up more work.
Really?
With it, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Jesus, it's until you have it, you realise that I was actually wasting a lot of fertilizer there.
Really? So GPS in particular to fertilizer spreading.
Yeah, especially with the fertilizer spreading, it makes a big difference.
Doesn't that really come around so fast? It just became so adopted.
Yeah, sure. Every farmer nearly has one now, really.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
fairness.
the cost of fertilizer and nitrates directive and everything. I know they're fixing our aeration system on the farm there now at the moment, but my plan now is to just use the aerated slurry on some paddocks,
Yes,
fertilizer is getting so capped out.
Yeah, I suppose we have to rethink. I suppose we're being forced into rethinking in one point with policy and law, whatever. But there are ways out there. If you talk to people and see what's happening around the world, there are ways without all the fertilizer we've had, really,
Now, anybody looking in that might like to be in this industry or like to be in your job, whether when you put your hat on as a beef suckler farmer, or being general manager of JORAPAC of an agribusiness company, any advice you'd give to someone?
Don't be afraid to take an opportunity.
Okay.
If an opportunity presents itself, don't be afraid to take it. And when you're in that position, then
you're right.
When you're in that position, be willing to learn.
Sure.
I suppose I'm nowhere near a finished article. I probably never will. I don't think there's anyone a finished article.
Nobody's a finished article, no.
But there are loads of people out there, no matter how high above you may think they are, or what they've done. They're just a person, and they're all willing to talk. And I suppose, even from our trip and the people we've met, that have all these contacts and have done so much.
Yeah, people are just people.
And they're so willing to help and to educate. So take in as much info as you can, and I suppose contacts are everything, really.
Yeah.
Especially in our business now.
There's a few a-holes out there, not many, but there is a few, but in general, people are great. People are good.
Yeah. And you learn, I suppose, from all the a-holes as well as we talk. They're everywhere. We learn, and we...
And you were making the tip. We were talking last night as well. For you and your farm, you're trying to make it as simple and straightforward. And you're talking about changing the slats. You don't want to have any issues or troubles with your cattle. So it's about making it.
Yeah, just make. I suppose anything you do, there's an easy way and a hard way of doing things all the time. So,
and I suppose like every Irish farmer this year, spend the money on your farm and don't be giving it to the tax man.
Yeah. Ring JORAPAC.
Ring JORAPAC. Well, that was my next question. My final question is, part of the fifth question is there anything else you want to throw out there or you're asking for? And I think you just said it there.
Yeah.
If you're looking for slat rubber.
Anything. Ring JORAPAC. Anything at all. Ring JORAPAC.
Ring JORAPAC. Yeah. And I suppose I better do what I did with Hannah in the interview as well. Is there any question you want to ask me now that we're doing this? Anything you want to throw out there?
I suppose for you in 3 years' time, where do you see things, or in terms of farming? And I know you love technology and AI.
Yeah.
What's going to be the big thing in not even 3 years, 10 years' time? What's going to be the thing? We have the robotic milkers. We have the GPS technology. What do you think is going to be the big?
10 years now, you've really gone further.
5
years. Right, okay. No. I'm like the 10 years. We'll stick with 10 years if that's all right.
Yeah.
And I'll call this now, and sure people think I'm half cracked, which they'll think I'm fully crazy now. I think within 10 years, you're going to see humanoid robots. If you give it a quick Google there, the way they're working battery technology, they're using AI and smartphone that can adapt. And for repetitive jobs, and it might be standing down in a milking parlour or pit or secondary or putting out milk bottles or something, I think you may see that. I think you're going to see, and when it comes to that sort of AI technology, I think you're going to see it in tractors as well. It's commonplace in America where you've got a self-driving tractor in a field. Yes. I think we're going to see that even in Ireland. Okay. In bigger fields.
It'll be interesting,
They won't need Jamie rowing the wrong field of grass.
It would definitely be handy.
Just drop the Google pin and the cabless tractor will just drive into a field. So I think that kind of automation you're going to see, and I think those things are hugely expensive, but they're going to be based on type of subscription type models rather than a big capital investment.
I suppose you have to weigh it up against the cost of labour too. That is something that you can't even get labour first of all, and then to pay for it.
Labour, I don't know if we're going to see like if it can robot driving a tractor, but you're going to see repetitive things, or maybe it might be, you're probably going to maybe see it more in the likes of greenhouses and stuff, or watching for renting, you know, repetitive jobs where they're picking strawberries or something. But
yes.
I do think that's going to come fairly fast, especially the way AI is. So now we'll leave it at that. We've just arrived at Brussels Airport, and we'll be looking for Michael O'Leary's Ryanair plane. Hopefully get us home okay. Quick trip. And what time will you be back in Cork tonight, Jamie?
Should be back before 9. So they told my
Quick
wife.
look at the kettle.
Yeah, so they told everyone.
I have a few calves to look at. I'm actually milking in the morning for once. Anyhow, thanks very much if you listened to us this far. Bye now.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.